Yo boys, it's Dan. Welcome back to the Premier League prediction video. Now we have another guest this week. Who can he beat? The 30. Maisie unfortunately could not beat 30. Maisie got 16. But what can Mr. Ollie Lewis do? Find out in game week number 3 of the Premier League. Yes, you've heard it correctly. This is the first guest where Josh's friends have been involved in the video. And this is off with Chelsea versus Luton Town. Now, Chelsea lost to West Ham on the weekend by 3-1, and Luton didn't play their game against Burnley because their home ground wasn't ready yet. But I think it's ready now. I'll tell you what, because I'm going to Luton Monday, so benefit Monday, but yeah, it should be video as well, by the way. So yeah, Luton Chelsea. You would expect Chelsea to walk this game against Luton Town. I'm gonna go for a 3-0 win to Chelsea. And Mr. Ollie Lewis, as a Watford fan and Luton's rivals, what are you saying in this game, mate?
Yes, guys, it's nice to be back on Dan's channel for a little change. I've actually got my predictions written down here. They're all quite detailed, last week's results. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens. I've been on this channel before. I know the points to beat are 30. Whoever's managed to do that within the first 2 game weeks, fair play to you. I never really get past 20, but you know, it's going to be interesting. I've just moved into my new uni house, no longer in halls. Last time I was doing a video like this, I was in halls. Never again. I'm now in a house. Thank God. So let's get into these predictions, I guess. So the first game would be Chelsea versus Luton. Chelsea going off a 3-1 loss, and the Luton game actually got postponed because their stadium wasn't ready, which in my opinion deserves a point deduction, only because I'm a Watford fan. But no, they still deserve a point deduction. Regardless, if that was any team, it would have been hit with one. It's not a shame. God forbid they get promoted to the Premier League. But, you know, going off that, I think Chelsea are the more experienced club going into that game. Evidently, they did lose 3-1 in their last game, but I think with a poor run, yeah, you continue it, but you are playing Luton. Don't let Luton have the 3 points, please. So for that, I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea, purely because their defence are ropey, but Luton can't pass to save their life. So 2-1 Chelsea on that one.
And now we move to Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Now Bournemouth, they lost to Liverpool only by 3-1, to be honest. Only by 3-1. Like, it wasn't good, but it wasn't a pretty. But Liverpool were there. Liverpool. And Spurs annoyingly beat Manchester United annoyingly by 2-0. Now, I mean, Spurs were honestly Spurs. That's the best Spurs performance I have ever seen in my life. Like, fair play Spurs, like, you played really well, but no, United, we were awful, to be fair. We were shit. But I mean, Bournemouth Spurs, you'd expect this to be a Bournemouth. You'd expect this to be a Spurs win. But they haven't had a happy time at Vitality before. They have gone through. And I'm going to go with another Spurs victory, this time of 2-0. And Ollie, what are you going for in this game?
The next game would be Bournemouth versus Tottenham. Bournemouth are going off a 3-1 loss and Tottenham are going off a 2-0 win against United. A very impressive 2-0 win, can I just say. I think they're going to continue that. Bournemouth did put up a fight against Liverpool. They did score one. They made it even. But then Liverpool kind of just counted on them. And Tottenham, with their form, getting rid of Harry Kane for some reason, they're the next, I don't know, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, one-touch pass sort of style of football. So for that reasoning, I'm going to go with a 3-0 Tottenham win. I think they can keep a clean sheet. They did it against United, so what's not going to make them do it against Bournemouth? You know.
Now we move to Arsenal versus Fulham. Yes, Arsenal-Fulham. Arsenal, let's say, scraped past Palace on Monday night. Scraped past them. Scraped. And Fulham, they did, they scraped. No, they lost. They lost to Brentford, who are, to be fair, again, another team who are, average. Yeah, averagey, very average. Can Arsenal go far in Premier League? Can they do another title fight? Can they do it well? I'm going to say it will be Arsenal 2, Fulham 1. And Ollie, what are you saying in this game?
So our next game will be Arsenal versus Fulham. Arsenal are going off a 1-0 win and Fulham are going off a 3-0 loss. Kind of self-explanatory. I think Declan Rice really carried Arsenal in that last victory. Fulham, newly promoted. Don't really see them staying up, to be honest with you. So Craven Cottage can fuck off. Sorry. Arsenal are going to win that. I'm going to say Fulham are going to get a goal. But I think it's going to be 2-1 Arsenal on this one. I really think they have the capabilities of going quite far this season. Supposing that they've secured Champions League for the first time in God knows how many years. And they seem to take every competition quite competitively. They're not just fixating on like a cup run or a league run. They seem to be doing both. So it's early on in the season and I see them just smashing 3 points here. So 2-1 Arsenal.
Now we move to Brentford versus Crystal Palace. Now, Brentford beat Fulham 1-0 and Palace narrowly lost to Arsenal. And I do believe that this game could be a very interesting one. Brentford now, I can't see Brentford really, this midfield from let's say 9th to 16th is going to be really, really tough to call. Because both these teams could easily be in this. Palace, yes, they've lost Zaha. They have managed to keep hold of Michael Olise after Chelsea were interested in him, but he's done the deal, so he's now at Crystal Palace player for more often now, longer now. So Brentford, I'm gonna go. Which is fair, I can see it being a 1-1, but I'm gonna go 2-2 just to make it a bit more interesting. 2-2 draw between Brentford and Crystal Palace. And Ollie, what are you saying in this game?
Next game would be Brentford versus Palace. Now, Palace are going off a 1-0 loss and Brentford are going off a 3-0 win. Now, who says form doesn't continue? However, I can see Palace actually winning this one. Brentford, in my opinion, aren't a solid squad. Palace have more depth. Yes, they got rid of Zaha, but that's not the point. I see Palace as a stronger, more aggressive side, whereas Brentford like to let the opposition come to them and try and counter-attack. It doesn't always work. So, for this game, I'm going to say 2-0 Palace. I can really, really see Palace having a little turnaround here.
Now we move to Everton versus Wolves. To be fair, I could see this game being a boring draw. Everton lost 4-0 to Aston Villa and Wolves lost 4-1 to Brighton. Yes, you've heard that right. 4-1 and 4-0. To be fair, none of these teams will be in the top half fight, relegation fight, probably for both these teams. Calvert-Lewin has got another injury, but this time's a face injury, so we have to put something with a fractured cheekbone, which is under here or something. So Wolves, I mean, you know what I'm saying, 0-0 draw. 0-0 between Everton and Wolves and Ollie. I'm assuming you're going for 0-0, mate. But I can only assume. Find out. Yeah, might as well. And I move.
Next game would be the big decider, Everton versus Wolves. Now, both teams are going off dramatic losses. Everton going off a 4-0 loss and Wolves actually going off a 4-1 loss last game week. Now, Everton, I was working and watching the Everton Villa game, and they were just getting mauled. So you have to hope for Everton that there are some words being exchanged in the changing rooms. Whereas Wolves, I didn't get an opportunity to watch that game. However, I can't see this game going very far. I'm actually going to call it a 0-0. I don't think any team are going to really want it. It's going to be more of a passing game. There's going to be no passion, no energy, no nothing. It's just going to be passing around the pitch for 90 minutes. And there's some for the stupid added time rule.
To Manchester Nottingham Forest. Man United lost to Spurs on the weekend, and Forest beat Sheffield United by 2-1. To be fair, we weren't very good against Spurs. We weren't the best in the world against Spurs. We didn't play well against Spurs at all. We were useless against Spurs. We were terrible against Spurs, honestly. We were bad against them. Very bad against Tottenham Hotspur, and I believe that we would get it done, but Forest are no pushover. I want to say a win, but I want to say a draw. 2-0 to Manchester United. We are out Mason Mount, but we had a play to do with him. And Ollie, be nice, otherwise when I see you in a couple of weeks, you're not going to be good enough.
Next game is, Dan, your team, Man United versus Nottingham Forest. Now, United are going off that 2-0 loss against Tottenham, and Forest are going off a 2-1 win. United, I think some strong words are going to be exchanged. I can't see them turning this around this time round, only because Forest are going on a good run, and normally when they go on a good run, they do like 2-3 games and then tend to veer off. I think United are going to want to fight for it. They might go 1 or 2 up, but I can actually see this being a draw. I'm going to call it 2-2. Mark my words on that, a 2-2. It seems unlikely, but just watch it. Just watch it. Dan, watch your points come in towards me, mate.
So now we move to Burnley versus Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa, Burnley were the team that played. Burnley were going to be the team that played, so obviously didn't play. But Villa 4-0 against Everton. Honestly, I think it was 4-0 or 4. I'm not sure what it was. But yeah, to be fair, that game was terrible. Villa, this is the strongest Villa team there's ever been. They'll be in the European fight again, I think. So I'm going to say, sorry, any Burnley fans, there aren't many in here. 4-0 again to Aston Villa. I'm going early. I'm going my big scores early. And Ollie, what are you saying in this game?
Next game will be Burnley versus Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa are going off a very impressive 4-0 win. And the Burnley game got postponed against Luton because, again, their stadium isn't up to par. So I can only go off the Aston Villa win. And quite honestly, it was a very, very impressive win. I wasn't expecting it to be that dramatic this early on in the season. So I feel like that Villa are going to want to capitalise on Burnley not being able to play their first game and keep this form running, which is why I'm going to call a 3-0 Aston Villa win. They have a very, very strong team this year. I think this is arguably one of the strongest Villa teams that they've had in a long, long time. And that goes for quite a few of the clubs in the Prem this year. That mid-table to lower third is going to be quite difficult. It's going to be like maybe 2-3 points between maybe 11th and I want to say 16th. By the end of the season, it's going to be a very, very tight season.
Right, boys, so that I missed that one game. It is Brighton versus West Ham, because I don't know what happened, but I just didn't write it down on a bit of paper. So yeah, Brighton come off the back of a 4-0 win. West Ham beat Chelsea 3-1. They have signed Konstantin Papadopoulos from Stuttgart. I don't know how I'm saying that, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Brighton will win again by 3-1. And Ollie, what are you saying in this game?
So, next game will be Brighton versus West Ham. Now, West Ham are going off a 3-1 win and Brighton are going off a very impressive 4-1 win. High scoring game. Defence seems to be really good. I think both teams are really going to want to try and keep this form going. However, I really do think that West Ham will just snatch it this time around. Brighton have a very, very, very good squad for the team that they are and the size of club that they are. However, West Ham just seem to have that little more pizzazz. I don't know what it is. I can just see West Ham nicking this maybe by a goal, so 2-1 West Ham. I think it's going to be high scoring to a degree. But supposing that both their defences are on par, on form, I can only see it being like a 2-1, maybe 3-2. But I don't really want to guess that high this early on. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 West Ham.
Now we move to Sheffield United versus Man City. But Man City are without Pep Guardiola. Yes, the manager, because he's had to have emergency back surgery because he's hurt his back, because he's injured his back a few. Well, I don't know when it was, but that's him and De Bruyne are now missing. But he's a manager, so it doesn't really matter. To be fair, they got the player to deal with it. They had the player to deal with it. I mean, I can't see Sheffield United posing much of a threat in this game. So I am going to say it will be a very easy win for Man City of 3-0. And Ollie, are you agreeing with me, yes or no? And now we move.
So the next game would be Sheffield United versus City. Now, City is going off a measly 1-0 win, can I just say. It should have been more. And Sheffield United are going off a 2-1 loss. Now, I think the City are going to capitalise on this. They always do. Whenever they start a good form, they tend to keep it on. This is going to be a City win all day. The scoreline I'm not too sure on. I'm going to ballpark and say 3-1 City, purely because they've had the first couple of games to warm up, get used to it. They're playing not a strong side, newly promoted side, can I just say. They're going to want to capitalise on it, get their goals up, get their pass rates up, just get their numbers up. It's all a stat game for them, this game. So, again, 3-0 City. I can't see Sheffield scoring any past City. Their defence is stupid.
Move to the last game of the game week. This is another game of big top six. That's what I'm trying to say. Newcastle versus Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool beat Bournemouth 3-1, and Newcastle lost to Man City, but only by a goal. But I can see this game going in the same vein as the Man City game. Man City's gone early. Well, Liverpool's gone early and then being a bit dead. But I don't know what's going to happen here. But I will say that that Liverpool will get done narrowly 2-1, no 2-all, because it's at St James's Park and they make that place an absolute fortress. And Ollie, for the final time, what are you saying in the game week?
And finally, the last game of this game week is Newcastle versus Liverpool. Now, Newcastle going off a 1-0 loss and Liverpool going off a 3-1 win. It was really ropey in the first half for Liverpool. They didn't really look like they had their shit brought together. Bournemouth scored quite early. They did manage to capitalise on it in the second half. Newcastle, for the investments that they've made, then I know we're only the third game week in, but they're not looking like they want it. I don't know what I can say about this one. I think it's going to be another case of the Bournemouth-Liverpool game. I can see this being a 3-2 Liverpool win. Newcastle seem to want to be attacking, but they also let their defence down when they got push up, which is where Liverpool are going to capitalise and counter. So 3-2 Liverpool. It's going to be a tight one. Dan, thank you so much for having me back on your channel. It's always a pleasure, mate. I'll see you soon in real life. And yeah, watch them points come in. See you later, mate.
Thank you guys, and I will see. Thank you for watching. I will see you on Monday. A very bank holiday Monday this is, with a very special and different video. I'm not saying what it is, but I'm going to say it involves the girlfriend. So that's all I'm saying. Until then, boys, have a lovely weekend. Who will come out on game week number 3? Who will make themselves more obvious in the top half fight? And who will be in that relegation fight? Find out next week. Until then, boys, peace out.